world! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live stream of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use. Like an answer to the question, Chris, why do you keep yelling? I don't have an answer. If you guys know the answer to that question, feel free to tell the world. I know that some people don't like it when I yell. I apologize for that. Sorry, not sorry. I can't stop being myself, and sometimes I just kind of feel like being emphatic. Now, the next question that you might have is, why does this day say that it's yesterday, when in fact it should be today? Today is June 11th, 2014, and this date says June 10th. It seems like we're living in the past. No, but yes, because we still have 876 patrons today, as we did yesterday, despite the fact that we have uploaded 2 sneak previews, 1 exclusive blooper video, a sneak preview of the LEGO Ghostbusters set build, which I did, and a sneak preview of Friday's TGIF, which will be about how to start with Star Wars. Those 2 previews are kind of exclusive to patrons right now, and then at some point, possibly today, we're going to be uploading a sneak preview of the next OMG. I don't know if we're going to be releasing an OMG this week. We kind of fell behind. It's a lot of work to do videos, you can imagine, but the idea is we're going to fall into a schedule where we'll give, of course, patrons exclusive sneak peek access and pretty much exclusives to the bloopers, but the idea is we'll put out OMG on Monday and TGIF on Friday. So I'm trying to get into that schedule, and you know, we're ramping up to that, and thanks in large part to your support for this. So I'm going to go ahead and dive quickly into the news here, because I know you only have so much time on your hands, just like I do. One of the things that was probably the biggest bit of news that hit me in the face today was TweetDeck. I use TweetDeck on a daily basis. It's the way that I manage Twitter effectively. I never used to like TweetDeck when it first was launched, because it ran on Adobe's Air platform, and Adobe Air, while the idea was solid, it just kind of sucked in terms of execution. I liked, you know, thinking that Air was awesome, but performance just never seemed to match the expectations that I had for desktop apps. So TweetDeck evolved. It's got now has native binaries and native Chrome application. I use the Mac app on my desktop. Well, apparently there was a cross-site scripting issue, also known as XSS, and someone inadvertently exploited it. It wasn't a hack necessarily. It was just basically it was a problem that TweetDeck, or the developers who make TweetDeck, which is now Twitter. I don't know if you knew that Twitter owned TweetDeck. They updated it so that the exploit no longer works. Well, if you use TweetDeck, log out, log back in, restart any binaries, you should be fine from that point on. Theoretically, you know, who knows what other bug is going to be found in any particular application. But I did that. I logged out, logged back in, restarted the app and everything, and it seemed like I was still impacted. Suddenly a tweet showed up that I retweeted a heart. I'm like, what is going on with this? And so I shut down the app, restarted it again, and then I was fine. So, and I also did the whole account login, log out cycling and everything. I still like TweetDeck. You know, I'm not going to just abandon it because there's an issue. There's an issue in just about everything out there. So TweetDeck is my choice for desktop Twitter experiences. My choice for mobile Twitter experiences is Tweetbot. No doubt about it. I hate the default Twitter app on mobile. Tweetbot, at least on iOS, is fantastic. I love it. Can't live without it. It's got power user features. It's far more intuitive than the Twitter app was, which, by the way, the Twitter app on iOS was an acquisition. I don't know if you knew that. So if you retweeted a heart today and you don't know how the hell you retweeted it, you may need to log out, log back in to TweetDeck, and that was likely the case. It was a simple exploit. Effectively, what was going on is that TweetDeck was interpreting the code that was pasted in a tweet. So that if that tweet came upon TweetDeck, if someone else retweeted it, what would happen is then you would retweet it too, because the script that was written into the tweet was basically being executed within TweetDeck. And so tens of thousands of people ended up tweeting this, or retweeting it effectively, and including myself. Of course, I went in and undid the retweet, so you can't see that I retweeted it at this point, but you may want to check. That's probably a bigger bit of news, if only because I know that I'm not the only one who uses TweetDeck. Why do I have a number 11? Is this a Seattle thing?
No, it's for your...
Oh, thank you, hon. You know, this is, you know, when you can't bring in a team of people to help make sure you cover everything. You've got your wife to help. Thank you. That is great. I love that. My wife is a DIYer. And she's now, she's got her own YouTube channel doing the cooking thing, the fashion thing, the whatever thing she's going to do on a weekly basis over there. And her channel is getting already fantastic, I would say fantastic engagement, like almost 5,000 subscribers now. Her How to Cook Refried Beans was posted this Monday. The next video she's going to do is going to be posted this coming Monday, where she's talking about my favorite kind of salsa, which you should bring up here because it's really good even though it's spicy.
Yeah.
So
today I'll be making the roast, well...
You can say it. We're going to be setting up... They'll like it. Trust me, they'll like it. The idea is that we're going to set Diana up on her own separate Patreon campaign, and then you just give videos out ahead of time. That's it. I mean, it's really simple. It's a great way of supporting things that you love. And I saw at least one person, Anthony, who always tweets us every day. He tweeted a picture of him making the refried beans that you made.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Can you pull it up on your Twitter so I can show it on the screen? That's great. A little bit of news. I mean, here's the thing. Diana's not going to approach that with, should I keep that up now that you've got the 11? I'm going to turn it off for now. I'm just going to keep the 11 floating in the middle. Her recipes are really simple, so even geeks and nerds can do it. Yeah, he got the ingredients, but he also, I thought, didn't he make it? Yeah. Oh, there we go. He made it. Right there. Look at that. Oh, it's really bright. It's a bright screen, so I'll have to tilt it to the side, but we fed someone effectively right there. Yeah. Well, we didn't feed him directly. He had to buy his own materials. But he's a geek, and he made it, and it was simple. Very simple, straightforward, and easy. People love food for some reason. SwiftKey. They also love third-party keyboards. SwiftKey, probably one of the more popular keyboards for Android, is now freemium. It used to cost money, which wasn't, a ton of money. But now it has gone to a model where you don't have to pay for it. You can pay for theme upgrades and what have you. I think it's a great way of going, certainly. If you're looking for an alternative keyboard on Android, I'm happy with Google's keyboard, just like I'm happy with Apple's keyboard. But the idea behind SwiftKey going freemium may pull you closer into that brand, and it's kind of predicting what's likely going to happen. If you're like me and you switch back and forth between Android devices and iOS devices, you're looking for cohesive experiences. Well, if I use SwiftKey, the keyboard on this Android device, I could use it on another, I could use it on another, and now it'd be coming to iOS. And it's a great, I think it's a great idea to let it go freemium, let people pay for those upgrades. I guess we kind of have a freemium model too with content, but they're making this move ahead of the iOS 8 launch later this year, if only to kind of bring people more or closer into their ecosystem. So if you did want to try SwiftKey but didn't want to pay for it, you should be happy about that. Another thing, if you have Android, you should be checking out right now. Look at that. I am installing the SwiftKey keyboard. You know how? Because I had it set so that I installed it on this device when I was looking at Google Play earlier. So I'm putting my lack of money where my mouth is, right there, because it's free. Another thing that's going to be currently free, but then go to a paid model, 1Password. That's what I use to manage my passwords across devices. And now it's available, or has been revamped for Android. And so if you're looking for a password management system, I recommend using one. Whatever you decide to go with, but if you hadn't looked at 1Password on Android, if you didn't even know it was available, you may want to take a look. You can synchronize by way of Dropbox. Although I've been using synchronization by way of iCloud with the latest version, if only because I've been using it primarily with my OS X device, or Macs and iOS devices. Amazon is now kind of playing hardball with certain distributors. They've stopped taking pre-orders for forthcoming Warner movies, including the Lego movie. Effectively, they're fighting with suppliers, and this is a big deal if you happen to use Amazon to buy things. I use Amazon all the time. I've got a lot of gift cards I earn on Amazon using the applications that I've talked about in the past. If you want to earn free gift cards for all sorts of stuff, check out the links in this video description. I don't want to dive into that too deeply right now. Either way, Amazon's playing hardball. And, throwing their weight around, and they're thinking that they're going to win. Well, it's possible, but you know what? If I want to get that Lego movie, and I was going to go through Amazon, I can't now, because I want to get it. I'll have to get it somewhere else. The Lego movie that I want to get is not just the regular DVD or Blu-ray. I want the one that comes with the Vitruvius minifigure, the special edition one, and I don't know where else I can get it at this point, at least at the same price that Amazon was going to offer it. Should I wait? I don't know. Is this ever going to end with Amazon? This is not the first time, probably will not be the last, that Amazon is fighting with suppliers. And at the end of the day, Amazon thinks it's doing its best for its business model. fighting for lower pricing or better deals. But if it's as a user, if it's frustrating for me because I can't get the products I'm looking for from Amazon, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I could very well go to another place and never come back to Amazon. What are the chances of that happening? Not that great right now. But if they continue to do this with suppliers that have things that I want, I'm going to be given no choice. So Amazon is fighting, and I don't know how they're going to come to a resolution with these suppliers or book publishers, any type of vendors that they deal with to bring products to you. Either way, it may be something that you have to be paying attention to. They may have problems giving you things that you want. And you don't know why? This is why, because they're fighting with suppliers. If you are a fan of the World Cup, I am not. Never even had a Vuvuzela. Vuvuzela? What is that?
It's huge.
It's long.
I mean, the World Cup.
Oh yes, World Cup is huge. The World Cup? I don't know.
The World Cup?
The World Cup. This shows you how much I know and how much I care. But I know that you might care, and apparently everybody and their grandmother is getting ready for the World Cup, including Google Now. If you have Google Now on your Android device or on the desktop or your iOS device, you can now see pretty much real-time updates for World Cup news. So there's the Google app on iOS. I was just holding up an Android device. I don't have a card swiped right now.
And
that's funny.
We have a lot of Brazil subscribers.
We have Brazilian subscribers, apparently. I didn't know that. This is new. Okay, cool. Well, welcome. Bienvenido. I don't know if that's Brazilian or Portuguese or whatever they speak down there. No, Google, stop. It's translating what I'm saying. Apparently I said Google something. Stop. It's not stopping. Oh, now it Googled it. Oh, couldn't load search results.
Aww.
Surprise. So, Google Now. Updates. World Cup. I have to go for the USA, which I assume they're in the World Cup because it is the World Cup. So, if I went for something other than the USA, I think people would be concerned. I could lose my status. I don't know. Who should I... I will crowdsource this. Yeah. Who should I be going for in the World Cup? You guys answer it, and that's who we're going to go for, the majority of people who vote for it. Speaking of the amount of people who vote for it, I've got to set up a poll so that you guys can vote on the next bit of makeup that we put on my face. You may have seen in yesterday's Pirillo vlog, or the most recent one, which, by the way, I'm thinking we've been uploading those vlogs late at night, but I'm thinking about moving to uploading them in the morning and just scheduling them to go out like 7 a.m. Pacific time, if only because I'm trying to find the right schedule, and it's difficult because it's just very time intensive. Some people don't understand just how much work it takes to do what we might do, not just record the footage, but actually edit it. What I wanted to do was go to a page there we go. Oh, it was right there. I wanted to show you the Darth Maul face, which apparently I could not do there. Done. This one? You guys saw the Darth Maul face, didn't you? And I just had it pulled up. Me and Darth Maul. It was like the vlog.
Yeah, I have a few.
You do? Mm-hmm. Because I was trying to pull up the picture from... Yeah. Well, there's a funny one. Oh, yeah, okay. I tweeted this one earlier. Yeah, this. So I was Darth Maul the other day, and that was in the vlog. That is going to be a part of the TGIF video we do 2 weeks from now. How to start with cosplay is what it's going to be. The Star Wars one, I'm not in makeup. That one's coming out on Friday. But that was fun. It was fun to do, and I'd do it again. I have an idea for the next face painting I'm going to do that you guys will all be surprised if it happens. But in terms of being painted up as a geeky or nerdy character, something from comic lore or sci-fi lore or whatever, we're looking for ideas that can actually be done on my face. I will lend my face to that. So by way of Patron John Whittaker, we've got information that's suggesting that Android apps, instead of buying them through Google Play, through Google, there's now the option, or soon to be an option in the UK, to be able to buy Android apps by way of your phone bill. This is an agreement that apparently Google's made, at least with certain carriers. So it's potentially more convenient for you instead of having to manage two systems of purchasing and two payment management systems. You're paying your phone bill anyway, so you can now theoretically, within the UK, as long as the carrier is supporting it, be able to buy Android apps through your carrier. That to me, I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would want to do that though, because carrier bills they're great, but I keep everything separated as much as I possibly can, so that way it's siloed. To me, believe it or not, sometimes having more is easier to manage than having less, because I like knowing, okay, this is what's related to this is what's related to this is what is related to this, but maybe convenient for some of you out there. The next bit of information, this is something that I don't have anything that's tangible, but as I continue to talk through these headlines, honey, I'm gonna have to take the 11 away. I'll just do this as we scroll through the list of patrons to give credit right back here. WiTricity. Now, I talked about this briefly a few weeks ago. I believe Chris Miller, one of our patrons and just a good guy, a great artist, mentioned something that there was a company. Sorry, it's tickling my nose there. Okay. Mentioned a company called WiTricity. And what WiTricity does, instead of wireless inductive charging, where you've got a device and you can set it on a plate and you have to have it sitting in a certain position and then it charges without any kind of cables connecting the two things, WiTricity is working on basically tapping into the airwaves or using the airwaves to send electricity back and not just back and forth, but to a particular device. So if this particular phone was outfitted with that type of support, effectively I could be charging it right now with WiTricity support. And that's just one brand of wireless electricity. Well, the big news is that wireless charging it's not news, really. I think it's going to happen. But apparently, WiTricity got a huge boost from Intel. So Intel is going to be partnering with WiTricity, and that is really good news. Intel's a huge vendor, right? Imagine the next computer system you get, it has WiTricity support built in. Now, you may not have WiTricity around you, but then as soon as you do, then suddenly that machine that you have could charge wirelessly with that support. Oh, that's awesome. I wouldn't imagine us seeing this in products in the next 2 years, maybe in 3 to 5 years. I think wireless electricity along the lines of WiTricity will be real. I'm not talking again about inductive charging, which I don't want to call it a kludge. It works kind of sometimes, but you have to have it in the right position, otherwise it doesn't charge. And I think that it's believe it or not, too much work. I'd rather plug a cable in and know that the device is charging versus, having... That's how I broke my Nexus 4, too. My Nexus 5. Apparently my hand does not like my Nexus 5. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing broken here. WiTricity getting a big boost from Intel. I think that's fantastic news for users out there. Everybody, whether or not you're interested in this stuff. I can't imagine anybody saying, no, I don't want my devices to charge wirelessly at all. That's creepy. No, I don't even like wireless internet. I like plugging in. And let me tell you, it's hard to find an Ethernet adapter for your Android phone. That's how I get online. This is what I imagine people do if they complain about that guy. This is what they sound like in my head. And they have a little yellow sticky with a number on it. Wait, I'm playing that game. Am I the number 11?
Yes.
Oh, I win. All right, so let me go ahead and kick this screensaver in. I don't know if that's going to stick or not. Oh, hun, we could play heads up.
Okay.
You want to try that?
Yeah.
There's a couple other new bits of news I wanted to do. I wanted to do this in the vlog, though. I guess we can do it here.
We'll do one?
We'll do one game. See if I can remember how to do this. Okay, Superstar. Okay, wait, hang on. Let me make sure it's dim enough that not me being dim enough, but it's dim enough that everybody out there can see it. All right, Superstars. All right, play. And I think down is quit. Okay, place on forehead.
Get ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
You suck at this. Come on.
He recently came out as gay, and he is blonde-haired. No, pass. Oh, it's up. I don't know this person. Oh, this is a good one. He is Awesome. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to try to demonstrate this game.
His last name is in the state we live in.
Eli Washington.
Close, but
Isaiah Washington.
no. Denzel. She used to be married to Ashton Kutcher.
Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, got that one.
Oh, that one is a pass.
Oh, up is pass?
She was on American Pie. The blonde chick on American Pie. She's kind of a train wreck now. No.
Tara Reid?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got that one.
Time's up.
Oh. Little fun for everybody there.
It was Denzel.
What you said? Oh, this is a good one. Well, don't tell me. Just give me a clue. Like, oh, this person's great. Okay, specific.
I know, but I didn't want to say anything
Derogatory?
Yeah.
David Spade.
or,
He's
like,
gay?
offensive. I think so. Is he not?
We're not trying to start any You better Google that or Bing it. I don't want to start any rumors. Oh, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
I was close. You could. Yeah, I said Eli.
And then you
And he was in Book of Eli. Why didn't you say?
he was.
Okay. So that was fun. Back to some other bits of news. BitTorrent. Now, you've been used to hearing about BitTorrent in the news, if only for helping you download Linux distributions or albums that artists release directly and not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing with BitTorrent. It's a protocol. I mean, you can't hate a protocol. Well, apparently, this is kind of neat. They're working on releasing a private serverless chat. You can sign up for the alpha if you want. You can. The link is in the video description, because it's a huge long link, so I'm not going to read it out loud. http://. So this is a great thing if you've been using chat services and you're probably going through a server. Well, they've figured out a way, or starting to figure out a way, for you to have chats with friends or enemies. You really wouldn't chat with enemies necessarily. Friends, family, whatever, without going through a server. So that is, I think, rather big news. Will it catch on? I don't know. Depends on how many people use it. I mean, you would want to use it. Someone else would want to use it. It would have to be convenient for both of you. But I think that's something that's very, very interesting to see come down the pike, especially from BitTorrent. Some bit of news that just came to me seconds before going live today, and a huge privacy victory. The appeals court has ruled the collection of cell location information without a warrant violates the Fourth Amendment. So, if you were worried about being tracked, and this is in relation to privacy, what we were just talking about, connecting through a chat app without having to go through a server. So now it's unconstitutional to get cell location info, or really even tracking it, without a warrant. So that's, your privacy is important. As much as we put a lot of things out there, sometimes we don't realize the information that we're leaking. And so sometimes the technology that we use is violating us in ways that we just can't even imagine. One of the reasons why I found it fascinating with this rather silent iOS 8 update, at least in the first beta, and we talked about this the other day. iOS 8 will basically scramble, randomize your MAC address as it's being media access control. Media access, what was it again? Media, never mind. So your MAC address, effectively your the address for each particular device that you've got connected to the network, it'll be randomized now, which is huge for privacy advocates. A huge deal. I mean, for the average user, they're going to benefit from it and not know it, because effectively they're not going to be as trackable as they were. They won't be as trackable for people who like serving up ads that are targeted to those people. So if you're a privacy advocate in that respect, you're probably not going to like the way Google's doing things compared to the way Apple's doing things. Apple doesn't have a business that's predicated on ad revenue, closer to what Google's business model is. It's pretty much all about ad revenue. So the way that they approach the marketplace is going to be different. And I think this is going to be, to me, one of the bigger key differentiators between iOS and Android moving forward. May very well be your privacy. I'm just saying. because Apple doesn't want to do really a lot of stuff with ads in the same way that Google does. And Google's doing a great job in protecting your privacy, don't get me wrong. I mean, granted, they do serve up ads in Gmail. I've never been a real fan of that. But I've never really been a fan of Gmail either. So, anyway, big news. I got the link to where that was tweeted here in the video description. So, I know that Diana brought up her salsa. We're having fun today. Yeah. Chris is leaking. What do you mean I'm leaking? I'm leaking? Oh, I think Max 3099 was saying that I was leaking my data. What?
I gotta clear up the facts.
Okay, did you just lie about David Spade live on YouTube? I don't, honestly, I mean, not to understate or overstate our audience, but I don't think that they're gonna start, oh my god, I didn't know!
Tweeting it. I was thinking of Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, you were. And Neil Patrick Harris, Dr. Horrible? Okay, never mind. Diana's green salsa, my favorite.
And here is a chip.
I don't need a chip. I drank it.
It's too spicy.
It is spicy.
Yeah. I think I'll do one serrano pepper next time.
But it is good. Chris, it's hard to take you seriously with the 11 on your face. Sorry. I've taken it off. I have, I swear. Oh! Grave Schaeffler says View Uzellas may have been banned from the World Cup. That's a big deal.
What?
Kevin Paulson is being hypnotized by the screensaver right now. I'm reading the comments as they're coming in through the live chat. Oh, something else I wanted to do. I haven't figured out the best way of doing this, but I wanted to try this today. If you're a patron, send in your setup. Let's see. I gotta get the brightness just right. Okay, let's try that. If you're a patron, send in your setup. This setup is from Joey Bianco. He is a patron, and this is what his setup looks like. There's his chair, and he's got his window right there, not to be confused with Windows. There are his screens. It looks like that looks like an iPad, could be an Android tablet. He's got 1, 2, 3 monitors. Looks like he's possibly running Windows 7 across all 3. And look at that, we've got a random dog. There's Joey Bianco's dog. Hope that's coming through loud and clear for everybody out there. This is his setup. Quite nice, and he is a patron. So that's one patron setup. We've got another patron here, Eric Janusz. And this is, he's going to be highlighting his work Windows 7 computer running SAP, Ubuntu laptop running terminal, a terminal window for Ubuntu file server on the shelf above on the left side of the printer, his Microsoft Surface 64, 3 desktops, Windows 8, Windows 7, Ubuntu Dual Boot, and his Mac Mini, all sharing the 27-inch HP monitor, and last but not least, his Nokia Windows Phone 8. So, this guy, he's pretty much got everything. A patron, Eric Janusz, or Janusz, I'm not exactly sure how to say the name. Let me go ahead and show this. I'm trying to figure out a better way of, highlighting everybody's rigs and setups out there. But if you're a patron, just send your rig and or setup photo to the special patron-only email address, and as long as I've verified that you're an active patron, we're good to go. This is what his setup looks like. Quite nice, quite clean. And it repeats itself over here on the right as he's showing the various OSs that are running on that particular computer. So, that, to me, this is a well-rounded geek. Honestly, I mean, he's got not everything, but I think everything is well represented. Oh, this is Jerry Berg. Jerry is also known as Barnacle Nerdgasm, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jerry, there's Jerry's awesome setup, just part of his setup, really, his rig. He's the guy's got a killer workstation, no doubt about it, way better than mine. I would say he owns bragging rights for his man cave. So Jerry has been a patron pretty much from the very beginning as well. In fact, he upped his patronage from $2 to $5, I believe, almost pretty quickly after he realized what we were trying to do in creating more content. So this is just another patron bonus, if you will. If you always wanted to brag about your computer, your rig, your home office. Daniel Hughes, another patron. A pretty simple setup here. And I appreciate this. It's very clean. There's not much going on there. He doesn't have a lot of desk space, but doesn't need a lot of desk space. Like I said, I've really got to work on how to display these things very well. Looks like that computer is running, or the computer is a Mac Mini specifically, and I saw it was running OS 10. Pretty simple, pretty clean. You know, I appreciate the lack of clutter in a lot of people's setups. I'll show off a couple of the other setups that I've received tomorrow. And as I said, if you do have a setup that you'd like to brag about, feel free to send it in. Hopefully at some point I'll work on a better way of displaying things. You know, I'm working, with a limited budget. I'm working with a limited team. Diana's here to support me live during these broadcasts, but I'm really hoping to be able to expand my team and have someone in here who isn't me to help me with the live video production and producing other things. But for that to happen, we got to find more patrons, or we've got to, because I can't keep finding more people because they're like, oh, you can't pay me in salsa. I'm like, are you sure? It's good salsa. Salsa. Okay, I think I've covered everything needed to cover today or wanted to cover today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for remembering to like, share, comment, subscribe, watch more of our videos. Be a patron if you can. And, of course, if you want, stay tuned for the next live video. I'm going to be shooting here in about a half hour live into this channel. I'll be answering the question, what will you do or would you do with legacy support? My thoughts on legacy support in hardware and software. This was asked by patron Reece Langham. I'll talk about my thoughts with legacy support, how I've seen it done well and not so well, and how I believe software can and should evolve in relation to software and hardware that exists at one point in time, but at some point becomes what they call legacy. Which is what I am, being a 40-year-old guy. I am legacy on YouTube. Because I'm not young. Not a young person's game. So I'm going to now go ahead and wind this video down. Apologize to David Spade and Neil Patrick Harris for my wife's gigantic mistake. At this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. We'll see you later.